Hello viewers and welcome back to the B-GHUD YouTube channel. Today we have with us Miss Jerry and her sister Miss Heather.
Hello, my name is Jerry from the UK. I've been coming to B-GHUD now for 10 years.
Hello, my name is Heather. I am Jerry's sister. I have been coming to B-GHUD for 3 years.
They're here from the UK and so what I'm going to do today for y'all is, this is very helpful for the IELTS students and for the speaking module. So what's going to happen is I'm going to ask a lot of questions or a few random questions from the IELTS textbook of B-GHUD itself, and they will answer it based on their experiences and things like that. So what you have to observe is the way they fill up the 2 minutes that they have and answer to the point. Alright, so the first question is to Miss Jerry. Describe your favorite newspaper.
My favourite newspaper is an English paper called the Daily Mail. We have it every day. A lot of people do not like it, but I enjoy it. I don't read always cover to cover. I don't read the sports section, but I love the crossword and the puzzles page. I do read other articles because you do learn some things. I'm not very political, so I get a bit bored with that side of it, but general day-to-day events and happenings. Other articles in the Daily Mail that I enjoy are the cookery items. They sometimes give you diet plans, and then there's the horrible things that happen, the crime, which can be pretty horrific. I also see these on the news, but you can actually read it in the newspapers. There are some about children who excel in certain subjects, and they will get praised by the newspaper. There's also many advertisements. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. There are television pages, of course, telling you what's going to be on the television that evening, so that I can choose which program I want to see. It's just a small newspaper, not the big newspapers like you have here, so it's much easier to handle, so I can read it on my lap and not lose track. I do the crosswords every morning, and then the answers to that day's will be in the next day's paper. It's a very old newspaper. It's been going for many years. It has changed its name. It used to be the Daily Sketch. It is now the Daily Mail.
Here's a question for you, Miss Heather. What are the most important qualities you look for in a person?
I think the most important values that I look for in other people would be politeness, initially, warmth and friendliness, sincerity, reliability, tolerance and acceptance. The politeness would be an initial thing to introduce yourselves. The warmth and friendliness would come the more that I got to know the people. Sincerity, because I need to know that they are being sincere with me as I would be with them. Reliability, because I know that then I can count on them and that they will be there for me as I would be there for them. And definitely tolerance and acceptance, because there is much to tolerate and accept in the world. I used to work for a local government, and acceptance and tolerance was very high priority, because I was dealing with children with disabilities and their parents, plus others who may get quite angry at times for the situation that they're in, and we needed to know how to deal with those people. I have a great many friends, and hopefully they see me as a good friend as I see they are a good friend. They are also very good friends because they drive and I don't, and so therefore I can be taken to the places with them and they give me lifts to special occasions. But that is not the only reason, because that would be shallow. We have very many get-togethers, either at my home or we go out and socialise.
The next question, describe the teacher who influenced you the most.
The teacher that influenced me the most. I think at my senior school, the teacher that influenced me most was my art teacher. He was very encouraging. I could draw, but we had many practices, and he would always come and see me and tell me what to do, and help me with my drawing. He even put me in for a competition, and I won a small prize in the town, and the pictures were in the local paper. He taught me life drawing, and so I had to draw a person in 3 minutes, and we got quicker and quicker, so I really enjoyed that. Another teacher who influenced me, although I am terrible at maths, we had a very good maths teacher who made the subject interesting. He would have physical things when he's describing, for instance, a cubic area. He would produce a box and not just talking words, he would illustrate with his hands. Another lady was my, what we call domestic science lesson, and this was for girls mainly, cookery lessons, and also how to wash and iron, would you believe? But it taught you basic things for home living. And she was a very nice, kind little lady who helped me a lot with things and encouraged you to do this at home. And those are the 3 teachers that I remember well, even though I had many teachers.
Could you describe a turning point in your life?
A turning point in my life was having children, which is a turning point in many people's lives. But when I had my children, that is when I stopped being a secretary. I had intended to go back, but I was privileged enough to be able to stay at home and bring up my son. Following my son, I had a daughter, and when they were both at preschool, I had time on my hands. So I've always liked working with children, and so I started up a children's group with some friends. And the children's group was called the Children's Workshop. And at the Children's Workshop, it was 4 days a week, and we chose 4 different subjects. So we'd have music and movement, we'd have manipulative play, we'd have art and craft, and played games, like board games. So they realised about taking turns. It was a very successful group, and it was then, moving on from the turning point of having children, I decided I would like to be a teacher. And that is when I enrolled in the technical college to be a teacher in primary school. But at the Children's Workshop, it was good experience working with smaller children, and their parents also would come and talk to us. I also, because it was working with children, became what is known as a brown owl, which is a leader of a children's group, the Brownies.
Could you describe a classmate who you admire?
Which classmate do I most admire? Well, I have a very old friend, old like me, called Cherry. We have been friends and classmates when we first met. She was 11 and I was 12. We have known each other ever since, and we are very, very similar in our outlook, sense of humour, problems that may arise. We talk to each other quite often, so if she has problems, she will talk to me. If I have problems, I can talk to her. And we generally come to the same points of view. As I say, I've known Cherry for over 60 years, so we have influenced and enjoyed each other's company a lot. I have moved many, many times in my life, so I have had lots of different friends, but not all of them can I remember their names. Cherry just sticks there as the most important person that I know, who has been a long time friend. She often comes here with me to B-GHUD. Other friends I have had at college, I went to art college. One of the ladies there who was very clever, we were quite close friends, and compared each other's work. We did art and dressmaking, so we would compare how each other were doing, and enjoyable. I'm not so in touch with them now because we both moved away from the area. So Cherry is the most influential friend.
How did you spend your last holiday?
My last holiday was spent in Amsterdam. I was working with a lady actually from Romania, and she was going to Amsterdam, and she knew that that was one of the places I dearly wanted to visit. And so she and her husband asked if I would like to go along, and obviously I said yes. This lady is an ex-teacher, and she is very interested in going to museums and famous places and learning all the history. This lady is a very enthusiastic lady, so as soon as we were off the aeroplane and we had put our bags in the hotel, we were off visiting. And that's the way it went for 4 days. And we were just going on boat trips, museums, and just generally restaurants and places of interest. We did go to see the Girl with the Pearl Earring, which is a very famous painting. This was the thing that this friend most wanted to see. We also went to see the Van Gogh Museum and saw his history and the fascinating life that he had, plus the very famous paintings that he's done, the sunflowers, the hay bales. But also there was a display, an exhibition of Banksy, and I was quite surprised to see Banksy in Amsterdam. I have a picture, a Banksy picture. My sister and I both love Banksy. He is a very direct message maker, quite controversial, but also very expressive, and obviously if he can come and paint on my wall any day he likes. The picture that I have a large picture, and it is of looks like an army man, and instead of throwing a grenade, he's throwing a bunch of flowers, and that just speaks volumes.
Alright students, that was it for today. Thank you for watching the video and hope the video was insightful for you. Come back to watch more.